Okay. I don't know if the mic's working, but I guess we're going to find out. Okay, I am going over the research paper for argumentation in AP Language. The first thing we need to look at is what is actually inside your packet. What you will be turning in for a grade is your preliminary thesis, your works cited page, which you can add sources to if you find something later down the road. Précis, you will be doing 4 different précis for the required sources, and I will go over the précis in a minute. Your rough draft. In class, we will do a peer review, and then you will turn in a final paper. What's in the packet? The first thing that you're going to have is your research paper rubric to go over. There's a plagiarism definition, writing a précis, like how I want you to do it, because your actual précis for your research paper is a little bit different from the rhetorical précis that you've done in the past. An MLA research paper sample, Chambers Library MLA style handout, and MLA resource pages and the URLs to go along with that. The first thing we need to do, though, is to take a look at the calendar. Obviously, March isn't going to work because we are literally starting with all of this tomorrow, so we're going to have to turn to April. In April, your preliminary thesis is going to be due by Tuesday the 3rd. Your précis over all of your sources are going to be due Monday the 9th. And I just realized this is ACT, so we're going to move that to the next day, actually. ACT. Your rough draft with your works cited page is going to be due on Friday the 13th. On that day, we will do a peer review. Final paper will be due Wednesday the 18th. The rough draft will include your works cited page. You'll also need a works cited page with your final paper. I'm going to let you guys go over the rubric on your own. If you have any questions about that, please send me an email. We obviously know what plagiarism is versus paraphrasing. If it's something that is like a birth date or something of common knowledge, that isn't considered plagiarism, but if you think you need to cite it, you probably should. Okay, writing a précis. You're going to need to write a précis for each of your sources. Basically what that is, you're going to type these. What that is you're going to include the citation for that particular source and at least half to a third, 3/4 of a page summary over each of the sources, and that will be your précis. I've included in here points to remember when writing a précis. Look over those. If you have questions, please send me an email. I went to the OWL Purdue website and I pulled a sample research paper. If you look at the gray boxes on the side, you can see they give you a lot of tips and pointers for writing a research paper. If you look back at the rubric, it talks about, right here, a title page. You don't need like a specific page dedicated to your title. However, that's what you're going to be doing right here on your first page of your research paper. You do need a title on your research paper. If you do not have a title, I will be taking off points. There's tips on how to cite sources, what you need to do if your source should be more than 4 lines long. You're going to put it in a block quotation. And at the very end of that sample research paper is a sample works cited page. And there's, again, lots of tips and pointers. Notice everything is in the same font. Everything is 12-point font. Everything is Times New Roman. I will accept Arial. Most of the time you will run into a professor that requires Times New Roman. Everything is in alphabetical order by the author's last names. They do have rules for what is required by MLA. I've also included in here the Chambers Library MLA style. It's a little handbook. If you don't know how to create a citation, you can reference this particular MLA style. One thing I will say I do allow is for you to use EasyBib. Or Citation Machine. Both of those are acceptable. And then going to the very back page, resources for writing your paper, EBSCOhost.com. The OWL Purdue is a great reference website to go to, and of course EasyBib.com. On the back, I have included the user ID and password to access EBSCOhost. This is your online database. For finding resources. You can also use websites like the New York Times, the Washington Post, places like that to find some of your sources, or you can just use a good old book. All of those are acceptable. If any of you have questions, all you have to do is email me about this research packet. I've included a list of research topics. I took pictures with the document camera and posted them on Google Classroom. You need to be finding your topics soon, like by tomorrow, which is March the 30th.